Alright guys, we're at the reloading bench. I'm going to try and do a quick video. We're going to get some 22 Creedmoor reloaded. This is going to be the final test for a couple reasons. Because I'm almost out of bullets. And for two, the 80 grain ELDM, I could tinker with it some more, but I'm thinking I'm pretty much, at its limit. I mean, I know if I spend some more time on it, I can get it smaller. But, this last seating depth test, I produced a 0.4. Let me see here. Was it the seating depth test? Yeah, a 0.480. And I think that's going to be the smallest I can get. And I'm happy with that. Only thing I don't like about it is it's touching the lands. I don't like seating bullets right at the lands if I don't have to. And it's like a lot of the people that will write to me in the comments, they want me to try jam and stuff. And I don't mind trying jam, jamming into the lands, but I'll never keep a load there because if for some reason, bench rest people do it because, for one, they get the best accuracy for it. And there's many reasons why they do it. I'm not, a massive bench. I mean, I love bench rest. Don't get me wrong. But the other reason why is they can put a bullet in, and if they have to eject it, or if they don't need to fire it, they can shoot it into a berm. I know I have the free will to do that as well here, but I don't want to make a load where I have to shoot the bullet, or the bullet's going to pull out and powder's gonna go everywhere. And that's just the reality of doing anything, into the lands, jamming, or even sometimes up to touching. If you're right at that ragged edge, and don't have your measurements quite correct, then one seated out just a hair too long is going to be, being pulled out of the case when you eject it. So that's basically one of the reasons why I don't really do jam. But either way, we got our best group on touching the lands. It ended up being 36.6 grains at 3,020 feet per second. So that's a respectable velocity. The other reason, so I guess there's three reasons why I want to just, make this the final. Out of bullets, or almost out of bullets, and I've spent quite a bit of time on 80 grain ELDM, and for three, I got some better bullets come up. Or I'm excited for the next bullets coming for 22 Creedmoor. I got 2 sets of burgers, some Barnes, excited as hell. And then the 95 grain Sierra, I'm excited as hell for that as well. So I'm going to get the final test. It's going to be 3 shots, 3 groups of 5 with 2 filers, and that's going to use up the last bit of my 80 grain ELDMs. We're going to load them all at 36.6 grains, touching the lands, and we'll see where that lies. If it ends up crappy, like I said, the last group we got out of that was 0.480, which is pretty much ½ inch. If I can get all 3 of these to hover right around ½ inch group, all 3 of these groups, I'll be happy as hell, and I'm gonna call that good for the 80 grain. So yeah, let's get loaded on these. I want to try and load and shoot today. Sun is not cooperating. It's going down like it always does, but I'd like to try and hurry up and get this done. We are annealed, and the primers are taken out. We got to get the rest of these processed. Oh, and that load is with H4350, by the way. And what primers were we using? CCI 250s. We've been on 308 for the last almost month now, so I'm glad I keep notes. Always keep notes, guys. Always. I can look back on my book right here, you know, I can see I was touching the lands. I got my SD. So we were at 3020 FPS, 11.8 SD, 32.9 ES, and a 0.48 0 MOA. And, you know, it got all my notes. So that's good. So yeah, we were using CCI 250s. So let's get these all ready to go. So let me see where they're sitting after the last firing on headspace. Zero out your calipers. So first one is 1556. Next one is 1556, 567. Oh, sorry, 556, 557, somewhere around there. Next one, 556, 5565. Yep. Okay, so these are very consistent, which they usually are. I've been having a little bit more problem with the 308 just because I think it's a bigger case. If I don't have the same amount of powder in each case, man, they fluctuate pretty badly. Or not pretty badly, around 2,000s they fluctuate, 2 to 3,000s. So like some of them aren't even fully fire formed because they just, if it was one that had the starting charge weight, it just didn't I don't know, didn't fully fire form. So with 22 Creedmoor, these are all pretty much 555, 556, and so yeah, let's get these lubed up, and we'll move over to size, getting some of these sized. And that is pretty much the headspace of this rifle is 555, or that's what the brass comes out to. Alright, I'm going to load up, or size up the first 5 here, and then I'll get the rest done off camera. Or I'll size up the first few. Alright, so I think the die's set, but I'm not quite sure. So this first piece was 1.5565 is what it's at. Okay, so I gotta loosen that die up. Alright, let me see here. Let me go see if these 555s sit in the gun, or fit in the gun, and I'll be right back. Alright, so yeah, the 555 or 5565 is tight. It's tight, it fits, but I gotta throw down the handle with my thumb. You know, I gotta push it on a little bit. So I backed this off just a teeny bit. Make sure you guys can see everything. I bumped that first one all the way to 552, so a little too far. So I'm gonna back this off a little bit more, just in case. I don't want to. Okay, that didn't even hit the shoulder, so. Alright, so it grew to 5575, so almost a thou. Let's go to the next one. So this one's 5565 as well. Let me go down a good turn. Alright, so this one's 5545. So 5545, 5565, so that's about 2 thou. I'm happy with that. Let me lock that down. You know what, I'm going to back it off just a hair and then lock it down. I'll go try that in the gun as well. Alright, so yeah, that fit in the gun. Let's go back, and I don't got to do the first one because that one's already down to 1.2. Or sorry, 552. Okay, so this one grew to from 5565 to 557. So only a half thou. Let's see where this brings us. Man, it felt like it bumped a lot. Okay, so 5565 down to 553. So 3.5 thou. I'll roll with that. That's not bad. If I'm in between 2 and 4 thou a bump, technically I guess 1 and 4 thou a bump, I'm pretty happy as long as they're all consistent and not varying. That's 3.5 thou bump. That's nothing wrong with that at all. Alright, I'm going to run that next one back through. Oh, let me measure it again first so I know exactly what it is. So this one's 5545. And 553. Alright, let's go to the next one. I'll show you one more. Alright, so this one's 557. And we got 554. So yeah, they're pretty much bumping around 3 thou. So I'm happy with that. It fits in the gun, so that's really all that matters. And with the amount of powder we got in them, they'll get maxed out on fire forming anyways. So, all right. So I'm gonna get the rest of these all set, and we'll move on to the next step. Alright guys, so all the cases are sized, ready to go. Next we're going to move on to getting these things measured, see if they need trimming at all. Let me zero out my calipers. So this one's measuring 1925. 1923, 1922, 1925, 1923, 1922. Alright, one thing I gotta do is check to see what they even want that trim length at. It's been a little while since I've even done 22 Creedmoor. Alright, so they want a max case no more than a 1920 and a case trim length at a 1910. So as long as I'm at 1.920, I'm good. And as you guys could tell, all those were pretty much over 920. So we need to trim a little bit. Also, they got to get, they got to go through my prep center anyways for the chamfer and deburr and the primer pockets, all that good crap. So, first things first, let me see if there's any at the right size. Okay, 920 is right here. 927, because that's usually how I set up my prep center. Alright, so anything under 920, this one's at 920, so if I just set it at this and a hair more so it trims just a little bit off, then we're good to go. So I just loosened this thing up. Luckily 308 and 22 Creedmoor is the same insert, so I don't gotta change that at all. See where that brought us. 917, and they don't want us to go below 910, so that's good. 917. Let's do one more. See where that brings us. $916.5. This one is, let's go one more. $922. 1.922. And it's going to grow a little bit after. This one's $918.5. So yeah, that's fine right there. So yeah, let me go back through, chamfer, deburr these, see what the final measurement is. $917.5. So this one was $916.5, and they grow about 1/1000 after you chamfer deburr. All right, let's do this last one. I'll show you another quick one. $918.5. Chamfer deburr it. And this one's at 920. Alright, I'm going to go through the rest of these real quick, and we'll move on. Alright guys, got all these trimmed. They're all sitting right around, let's see here, yeah, 1917, 917, 917.5, somewhere around there. 917.5, 918, 1.917.5, 1.917.5, 1.917. So yeah, I love that prep center. I'll tell you, it does consistent work, and that's what I want. Quick, consistent work. You know, you can get a whole case prepped and have it be within a thou to a half thou to a thou, you know, from each other, and get it chamfer, deburr, and primer pocket clean all right in one. I'm very impressed with it. I like it. So we're moving on to priming. Let's get these things primed. I'm just going to I'm going to prime on the press on this time. My universal primer is filled with BR2s right now. I'm not going to bother empty it right now. Priming on the press is pretty quick, and I haven't done it in a while, so it was my favorite for the longest time. But that universal primer actually does a really good job, so I kind of just moved to that. But alright, let me get out some primers here. So we're using CCI 250s, which are large rifle magnums. I got a backload of these, so, and Creedmoor cases have always done really good. 6.5 Creedmoor, all Creedmoor cases really doesn't require a magnum primer, but they love a magnum primer. I've gotten my best SDs and everything with a magnum primer. how many do I need here? So I need 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17. Got 2 extra. Alright. So, you guys haven't seen me do this in a while, but basically all you do with on-press priming is you put your little arm. This one's a Lee press, so it takes a little arm. Some have like a little push-in thing. Make sure you guys can see all that. Yeah. Some have a little push-in button here that you just put in a little arm, but they all work off pretty much the same thing, like an arm like this that flips in, and you prime on the downstroke. So I'll show you this way, but I can load it on this side. But basically put a primer in the cup on the bottom here. So there's a little cup that pops up through the shell holder. Put a little primer in it, facing up, and or I guess primer side, strike the side that the firing pin strikes downwards. Then, if you're looking at it that way, but put your case in and prime on the downstroke, and then run your finger over the bottom of it. Always do that, no matter what priming system you have. Run your finger over the bottom and make sure it's flush or just a hair below. And this seats them flush. My universal seats it just a hair below flush. So put the primer in the cup, put your case in. Don't take a lot of force, and just feel for the primer. Make sure it's seated correctly. This is nice. I like doing it this way because you really feel the primer going in the whole way. It gives you a good feel for it. You can feel really quick if like the primer's going in sideways or messed up. You get a really good feel for priming doing it this way. And it does a good job. It's a little slower than the universal primer, but not a lot. Alright, let me get one more done here. And then we're on to powder and bullets. Oh, actually, crap, I forgot to mandrel. That's alright, I'll mandrel after. I usually mandrel before I prime, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. You can mandrel after. Alright guys, I'm going to get the rest of these primed up and then we will mandrel. Alright guys, let's get the mandrel die set up. You guys know I use the Wilson die. Works good. I may switch down the road. The only reason why I might switch is just because Wilson didn't do 1/2,000 increments there in the beginning. I don't know if they do. I don't know if they do now. I will check before I switch because I do like Wilson's. Wilson's dies fit and finish is really good. So no complaints. That's the only complaint I do actually have is just back when I started doing, running a neck mandrel through all my cases. They didn't do 1/2,000 increments. It was kind of the one they sent with you, the one they sent for each caliber pretty much did brought your neck to 2,000, or I can't remember what. That's the other thing. They don't actually give you the measurement on it. You got to go online and look. But I think it's a 1 or 2 thou neck clearance is what. Alright. A little bit of dry neck lube. Give it a little shake. Dip it. Run it over. Give it a little quarter spin. Good. I'm going to give it a little tap just so all that powder, or any little bit of powder that does get in the neck, doesn't fall straight to the primer. I've never had it mess up a primer anyways. I've mandreled with the primer in many times actually. Alright guys, I got these all set to go. We are moving on to some powder now. I'll get all set up here and I'll bring you back in a minute. Alright, so got the RCBS been warming up for a good half hour or so. I'll back you guys out because I'm going to be seating and pouring at one, so I'll just give you the look at the whole operation. Alright, so we are looking at pouring 36.6 grains. Let's get some powder in there. H4350, which kernels aren't too much different than Varget. We've been throwing Varget with this, and this charge mash has been spot on. Really good with Varget, so I don't expect much different with H4350. Almost identical kernels, to be all honest. A little bit shorter, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. They're that close. Alright, let me get my bullet comparator on. Zero it out. Alright, funnel's ready to go. Alright, 36. Oh, gotta take my condom off. Yeah. I'll leave that tilted a little bit. Alright, 36.6. I'm not going to calibrate it this time. It says calibrate it every time, but I don't know. No, I'll calibrate it. Fuck it. Whatever. Take the pan off. Hit cal. Oh. Alright, zero it out. There we go. Calibrate. Calibrate again. It says to throw a 50 on there. Calibrate again. It says to throw 100 on there. Or another 50. Calibrate again. Calibrated to 100. And as soon as I take both weights off, it switches to grain, which is amazing. I love that. I love that in this. Alright, it's at stable. Let me zero it out. 36.6. Is that correct? Yeah, 36.6 H4350. Good to go. Let's do this. Get the bullets out. I'm not sure where this is dialed in yet, so let me back it off. Check down in there, make sure I got enough powder. Let me back it off. Try that. I'm looking for 2.124. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm already freaking below. Holy. Yeah, I need it further out. So 2.124. So that's what it was. Yeah, I was it's alright. First one's not going to be touching the lands. I should have known. I should have snuck in on it. Well, I thought I kind of was, but alright. I'm going to go out. That should be enough, goddammit. Alright, 2.139. Or technically 1385. Alright, so 38, 37, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Let's try 25. So it should be 125. And I'm looking at 125.5-ish, somewhere around there. So yeah, I should be able to go down one more and I'll get my 124. 2.124. I'll mark a little red mark on the bottom of that case, just so if it goes out of whack, I know that one's seated like 15 thousandths deeper than what it should be. I'll put a little black mark. Alright, that's the only mess up. It was 110, so it was 10, 11, 12, 13, like 14 thou deeper than what it should be. Check for powder. Get my flashlight. Yep. You should also be feeling with each press stroke how tight that bullet's going in, and it should be a nice even press, even pull through the handle, you know, all the way through. From bullet to bullet, it should feel pretty much the same. Back when I used to reload and not refine my process, I remember could be every other bullet or every third bullet or so, it would be a tough one going in. And not like reef on it tough, just I could feel it. I could feel the, I definitely have to push harder on the handle. Alright guys, I'm gonna get the rest of these done. I'll seat this last bullet here. And then we'll be ready to go out on the range. Of course, sun's down below the trees now. I knew that was going to happen. Alright guys, I'm going to get the rest of these done. Tomorrow's supposed to be a good day, so I should be able to get out tomorrow. I should have got out here a little earlier and reloaded, because I knew if I wanted to reload and shoot the same day, gotta come out before 1 o'clock. But, alright guys, I'm gonna get the rest of these done. Yeah, we'll get these shot here hopefully tomorrow, and hopefully they shoot a good group. Alright guys, I'll see you guys in the next one.